And it is currently for the RBF Middleweight Championship of the World. What's going on, all man? Thanks for tuning in once again. Dre's channel. Grab a drink, man. Grab a coffee. If you're new, hit the red button. If you're regular, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for hearing me out, man. I appreciate your time. But yeah, man, it's fight day. We got a big one. Triple G against Murata. Now, both of these guys have been inactive. Both of these guys have come off a win. And so yeah, that makes it a good fight. A lot of people are saying that Triple G will lose this fight, because of his age. Now, sure, age has a big thing to do with boxing. You lose your reflex and all that, but as you all know, power remains the same. Power always seems to last the longest, regardless of age. You look at George Foreman, that became the oldest heavyweight champion in the world, came back because he still had that power. You know what I mean? Look at Klitschko. He went on until he was about in his 40s. So, another example, Povetkin, 41, knocked out Dillian White. So that's what I'm saying, and I know that these are heavyweights, but you got to understand Golovkin is the number one middleweight power-wise in the world, in history, because, he has the highest knockout ratio in history in the middleweight division, so I mean, age isn't going to be a factor here at all for him, power-wise. I believe that he has also broken Bernard Hopkins' record, 20 title defenses. Golovkin has 21, this will be his number 22. So, I mean, you got to respect that. Numbers don't lie. Like I said, highest knockout ratio, middleweight history. I think he sits at 90%, somewhere around there. Numbers don't lie, guys. You can only judge someone off their last fight. And Golovkin knocked the guy down with a jab in his last fight. This is what I'm trying to say. This has been a guy that's been, in many eyes, one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Definitely in the top 10. Definitely one of the best in our era, for sure. Now, in terms of being active, I know that he's been inactive for a while. I know that guys like Canelo, you can call him the golden boy. He's been an active fighter. And he was the only one to beat Golovkin, Canelo. And both of those fights were razor sharp close. Razor sharp close to the point where even myself watched it back a couple of times, and majority of the times that I watched it back, I gave it to Golovkin, because he was the champion. And in my eyes, to be the champion, you got to knock out the champion or, just outclass him. And in both occasions, I believe Golovkin was more effective with the jab. That's Golovkin's specialty, using the jab. And I think this will be the case against Murata. Now, Murata is a big name in Japan. I understand, he's a well-known fighter there. He's a gold medalist. He's a good, decent fighter, for sure. He's got a good right hand on him. He came back and he beat Brandt, the way that he did. And he looked good in his last fight, He looked good in his last fight, as they both did. This is why people are saying that they think Triple G will lose. But I think that Triple G's power is just too more superior than Murata's. Now, Murata does have good power, but only in the right hand. Triple G has good power and the left jab. You understand what I'm saying? You know, he has good power on the left and the right. Triple G is a guy that uses the jab as a power jab. He's a guy that keeps you at distance. You know, he tries to keep you at mid-range. You know, there's looping left, looping right hands that he throws are very dangerous. You know, very dangerous. Now, I believe that Triple G will win. I think that he will knock out. He'll win by knockout or stoppage against Murata, but he is fighting in Japan. And for sure, it will be a sold-out stadium. You know, it will be a sold-out stadium. That's a fact. That is a fact. You know, it will be a sold-out stadium. And this is a fight not to miss, guys. You know, if Triple G pulls through, he will get his revenge against Canelo. He will fight him. But keep in mind, you know, I know that a lot of people are writing off Triple G to beat Canelo. A lot of people are saying Canelo's going to beat him up. Canelo will knock him out. Triple G's never hit the deck before. You know, that's another thing to consider. You know, he's got an iron chin, as well as Canelo does. Another thing to keep in mind in that trilogy. Now, I'm not trying to look past Murata, but I just think that, you know, Triple G will do the job. He's a great finisher. I think that he will definitely set up Murata using that left jab, you know, pushing him back, trying to cut him off, finishing him off, you know, with some looping shots, and I think the power will be too much for Murata. I think once Triple G sees how much power that right hand has, I don't think it will faze him too much. You know, that's the only shot that he really needs to look out for. You know, where Murata needs to look out for all shots. You know what I mean? But going back to Canelo, you got to keep in mind that when Canelo did fight Triple G, that was at middleweight. You know, you got to keep in mind that Canelo went in there being the lighter guy. You know, just keep that in mind. I believe Canelo is now fighting Bivol at light heavy. You know, so obviously Canelo will be the A side in that fight against Golovkin, and when you're the A side, you make the rules. So it's most likely that Golovkin will have to go up and wait to fight Canelo. You know, that's the obvious scenario. I don't see Canelo dropping from light heavy all the way down to middleweight. I don't see that happening. You know, I think that Golovkin will have to go up and wait to fight Canelo. So it'll be a different fight completely. You know, who knows what sort of power Golovkin can get putting on more weight. Now, I've always said that sometimes the weight isn't a factor in the fight, but with the right technique, the weight is a factor. And the way that Golovkin throws his punches with that loop on it, you know, sometimes he uses his weight, and that could be a game changer. That could be a game changer. You know, don't write Golovkin off in the trilogy. I personally think that Canelo will win. But we'll have to see how he handles Murata. We'll have to see if he can get the job done relatively quick. You know, I believe that Golovkin is preparing himself for Canelo by flying, you know, in different territory, you know, getting used to not being the favourite in the fight, getting used to being, you know, the one that's needs the knockout to win. Because I believe that the only way to beat Canelo here will be to knock him out, to win by knockout or stoppage. You know, you saw what happened in the first two fights. Like I said, they were razor sharp close. You know, they for Golovkin to lose, you know, being the champion, I believe was wrong. You know, I believe that he was, you could call it a robbery, in my opinion. Like I said, you want to beat the champion, you clearly outbox him or you knock him out. You know, and the fight was too close to give it to someone else. You know, that's how I saw it anyway. Some people disagree with me. Hey, you leave your comment, man. You know, regardless, I look forward to all the comments, especially the boxing ones. But hey, if you're not a, you know, boxing fan, I know that a lot of people aren't. They tune into this fight. Golovkin, like I said, you know, history. He's beaten Bernard Hopkins' record. This will be his 22nd title defense. Now, Canelo stopped his reign when he hit the 20 mark. That was titled with Bernard Hopkins. You know, Canelo stopped it. And Golovkin recently got his title back not too long ago, and then he defended it in his last fight, and that's what made him make history for middleweight. So I mean, so he's got the most title defenses at middleweight. He's got the highest knockout ratio at middleweight, and he's also got the most wins by knockout in a row at middleweight, I believe, something in those lines. Numbers don't lie, guys. Look at his last fight, he looks great. I know the fight before that he didn't look too great, but sometimes you need a boost to get you to where you want to be, and that usually happens off a good win, and that was a good win against his last opponent, when he defended his title and beat Bernard Hopkins easily, and if Triple G pulls this off, man, this just, sets the bar for the next guy trying to beat his record. I don't see it happening. But hey, man, there's always new talent that comes through, and you never know. You never do know with boxing. Records are getting broken all the time, and that's great to see. That's what I like to see when people break records in boxing. But yeah, as I said, I think that Triple G will control the fight with the jab, as he always does. He will use the power jab to try to keep him at mid-range. I believe he'll cut off Murata, cut him off, try to trap him in the corner and hit him with those looping shots and finish him off. I'm picking round 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier. If Murata wins, he's the man. If Murata wins, he's the man, and props to him. He is fighting in Japan. He might have that heart and determination to, take those hard punches. But, as I said, numbers don't lie. This is the number 1 knockout artist in the middleweight division, Golovkin. But that's all I wanted to say, man. It is fight week, man. Thanks for tuning in once again. I always appreciate your time. Thanks for all the people that's been watching the full video. I've seen the numbers go up, man. I appreciate you, and I look forward to hearing back from all of you in the comment section. And thanks for tuning in, man. Don't miss the fight. It's one to watch, a must see. I believe it's about I would say maybe 12 hours away. I'm not sure what everyone's time difference is, but it's not too far away. But thanks for tuning in once again. As I said, man, if you're new, hit the red button. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hearing me out. And I look forward to the fight, man. I look forward to the fight for sure. I'm out. Have a great day. Peace. Thanks for stopping in. God bless.